Okay. All right. So we have the beginnings of a list of modules, a deck of multiple courses displayed as a grid. We would like to be able to also perhaps add specific icons that could be used to represent actions, different actions. Maybe a pencil, meaning that you can edit. Maybe a trash can, that means that you can remove something or delete it. And wherever possible, use these icons, right, to give users a quick hint of what it is that's going to happen if you click on that particular icon. Although these icons are becoming more and more less, I guess less relevant, as many of these abstractions become meaningless. I guess folks used to remember what a floppy disk used to mean. It used to mean that you save, but then floppy disk has been discontinued for so long. People say, "What's that icon? I've never seen any of those." Right? So that's a problem of creating abstractions or creating analogies, right? Where you do an analogy of the physical world, and eventually that analogy doesn't work anymore. As you progress. Like for instance, I can't believe that our phones still have like a handheld, the icon of something you like those old rotary phones that we still use that icon, and everybody's identifies that still as a phone, even though I don't believe anybody here has ever used one of those rotary phone ever, right? Nevertheless, it's an analogy that has transcended time and space. Anyway, so Font Awesome is an open source library of fonts that you can take a look at, and any icon that is available there you can use for free. They do have a paid version, so they'll try to lure you into the paid version, but the free ones are just fine for this course. So, for instance, this is free, right? But some of these are not. Like this one's, I think you have to pay for. So there's some versions of these that are paid for. I think the grayed out ones, Pro, yeah, you need to pay for this. Pro license required. So I'm not sure why would you. I don't know what the difference is that I would want to pay for that. Maybe, I don't know. Like for instance, these two. Yeah, I guess so, maybe. You also have lots of the icons from many vendors are here. So Twitter and Facebook and Apple and all these are available here if you want to be able to represent them legally. So let's install these fonts. So to install the fonts, we're going to use the same technique. We're going to do an npm install font awesome. -- save. Don't forget to do a -- save. Once you do that, you can then import the CSS for font awesome. So you can let's do that from our index page here. Let's do an import. There we go. We have font awesome now. And now we can use the classes that are defined by the font awesome library, such as FA trash, or FA pencil, right? To add a pencil or a trash can to remove. So let's grab that. Let's grab these two icons and let's add them to our module list items. So we'll add them right below there. There we go. So if we do that and we look at the rendering, you'll notice that indeed we have now the trash can and the pencil right beside there. Typically we would want to maybe push that all the way to the right-hand side, so we can perhaps wrap these two inside of a span that then we can apply a class to both of them to push it to the right-hand side, right? So we can use now a Bootstrap's pull right or pull left that will push it either to the right or the left-hand side. There we go. So it gets pushed to the right-hand side. They might be a little bit too close to one another. All right? So you might want to add, let's see, you can edit to see what this might look like if you edit the style. Right? The designers use this technique quite often. They'll inspect a particular element, and then they'll start tweaking the CSS right here in the inspector of their favorite browsers until they get the styling that they want. Right? So for instance, on that particular eye, they might say that I want to try and add a margin to my right-hand side that has maybe 5 pixels. Okay, so that moves it over. They're not flush. They're not touching one another. It says, yeah, that's the style that I want. I want to add 5 pixels to the right-hand side. They'll copy that styling. They'll copy that styling. Okay, and then come to the elements over here and do something like style. So it's an object. So I want to do margin right, and then the left-hand side is 5 pixels. There we go. So we added 5 pixels to all of them. Okay. Did I say to add the style on the element? You should not. You should never add a style directly on an element. Right? Or you should avoid doing that. Instead, you should create either a class or something that can be applied across the board. This makes your code very, very hard to debug or to upgrade later on. Somebody has to actually open up this file and find the place where it needs to apply this. Instead, it'll be much better if you put it in a separate file, and maybe a style sheet, and then load it in there. But I'll let you do that. Okay. All right. So we have that. Let's see. We have the course manager. We pushed it a little bit to the right-hand side. Let's add some tabs just to show you how to render perhaps different lessons. Right? Remember that modules are lists. Yes. The lessons are tabs. Right. And the topics are pills. Right. Remember that from the assignment. We took a look at that yesterday. So we're just going through different ways that we can lay these out. All right, so let's take a look at rendering the lessons as tabs. Let's do that next.